Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beats make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beasts make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with another amazing night of racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming as the Metalheads Truck Series are ready to rock and roll. They're ready to go to battle here this evening as the start of their second round of the playoffs gets underway here this afternoon as we head here to the beautiful paperclip Martinsville Speedway here for the first of three races in round number 2 here in our playoffs. And now for all of our playoff drivers, man, they're going to be looking to try to advance their way through, hoping to try to make it into that final round. As coming into tonight, the drivers that are a part of our playoffs are currently Matthew Catania, Caleb Kleinard, Nathan Cogdell, Justin Rodden, David Trailer, Kevin Winker, and the 92 of Clinton Woodby. So here this evening, there are 8 drivers left to duke it out here for the championship here in our season of the Metalheads Truck Series, our third season here with the Metalheads Truck Series. As each and every one of these drivers, they've gotten out, they've laid down lap times, they have got their qualifying session in. Unfortunately, here for a couple of our playoff drivers, not quite the qualifying effort that they were hoping for here. Right now, Rooster Rod and Kevin Winker and Nate Cogdell are all qualified at the rear of the field. When you look at the front of the pack here, we got Caleb Kleiner, Rusty Modesty, Matthew Catania, and Clinton Woodby up inside our top 4. So 4 of our playoff drivers have qualified inside the top 4, where we have 3 of our playoff drivers qualifying in the bottom 3 out there on the speedway, which is going to make things very, very interesting. And David Traylor kind of right in the middle. He's back in the 11th position here in this qualifying session. So things are going to be really, really interesting. Going to have a lot of playoff drivers trying to battle from the rear of the field up to the front. Other drivers and other playoff drivers that are up at the front going to be trying to keep themselves there and trying to keep these other guys back there at base. I believe only our top 4 will move on into our championship round here in a few weeks' time. But for each and every one of these drivers, they got a little trick or two up their sleeve, man. We're going to see some craziness. We're going to see some wild action here at the beautiful Martinsville Speedway. This is a track that we're pretty well versed with when it comes to caution flags. And they may come aplenty. They may come often here this afternoon. It'll all be depending on how these drivers want to race each other here this evening. If the intensity starts to ramp up, if we start to see a couple late race yellow flags and drivers are once again packed up on top of one another, it is definitely going to be a little bit of chaos out there on the speedway. And K-Dub in the chat, he's got summed up here. Patience. Name of the game tonight, he says. Name of the game here for all these drivers. Just being patient, biding your time as much as you want to move forward, or you may have a truck slower in front of you. You know, you use that chrome dome, you get into them, you turn them around. I mean, that's just going to, build up that intensity and the frustration for all these drivers, and that just leads to more chaos out there on the speedways. K-Dub says, don't mind the random new paint either. Says, decided to change it up. He decided to change it up. All right, we won't mind it. We won't mind it. But K-Dub, you better get loaded in here, brother. You don't want to miss out on the start of this feature event as coming down pit road for, green flag pit stops or anything else could definitely net gain you a couple losses here, or a couple lap losses out there on the speedway, and it could be very, very tough to get them back with untimely caution flags. So we'll have to see where all these drivers can get lined up as they'll get ready to rock and roll. It looks like one driver missed the start by seconds. Oh, Keith Prince looks like he is going to miss the initial start here this afternoon. And for the Johnny Johnson Motorsports, Sherwin Williams, number 3 machine, he'll have to start down pit side here this evening. Heartbreaker there for that 3 ride, as that's going to set him back. Now, luckily enough, he's far enough forward in the pits that he probably won't go a lap down, but still going to be at a disadvantage. Was supposed to start up in about the 6th position. Now going to have to start, obviously, down pit side in 16th and be kind of behind the field here in our opening lap. Says Caleb Kleinert will lead us to the green flag here. Kleinert out in front. He'll see the green flag first, and to his outside it will be that number 6 rider, Rusty Modesty. And then we see the 318 of Matthew Catania. Is Catania in that Majula State Speed Shop. NOS Energy ride will start there in 3rd. Clinton Woodby to his outside there in 4th. And then we do see the hot dog stand number 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. starting there in 5th. Jesse Calloway to his outside, starting there in that 6th position. Starting in position number 7 in the 28 ride, that is Nathan Somerville, and to his outside in the number 5 ride, that is Matt Hayden. Starting back in position number 9 in the Ghost Energy number 46, it's Skylar Berry starting there in 10th, or 9th. To his outside is Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. there in 10th. David Traylor, Rooster Rodden, Nick Gardner, Nate Cogdell, and Kevin Winker bringing up the rear of the field as we end all of the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Martinsville Speedway. As Caleb Kleinert able to clear Rusty Modesty. Modesty, though, sticking to his back bumper, quickly jumping to the outside, hoping for a big run here, seeing if he can try to battle door to door with that number 196 for the race lead. Unfortunately, Caleb Kleinert able to lead lap number 1 here in Modesty. Unfortunately, not being able to get the run he needed on the outside lane. Will fall back into position number 3 as we do see our first caution flag of the day fly. So our first yellow flag will be displayed. I believe we're going to see the 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. here run into some issues. So Ashley sends it into the corner, gets checked up for the 92 ride, and unfortunately here Somerville just does not get checked up as soon. This is the name of the game here at Martinsville. We're going to see this numerous times this afternoon, as one driver checks up a little bit sooner than the driver in front of them, and then, kind of just creates a chain reaction here. And obviously Somerville looking to drive it in there a whole lot deeper than the 133 and the 92 ride here down into corner number 1, and unfortunately Somerville just can't get onto the binders quick enough. Let's see if we can jump on board here with the 192, or with the 28 ride of Somerville, see what he can see. So he's following them, watching them, and then the little checkup right there, and just can't get on the binders quick enough, can't get checked up, and unfortunately drives through that back bumper of the hot dog stand 133 machine, and gets a great look at it. Only $2, only $2. That's a good deal for a good old Martinsville hot dog, but right here you see him, unfortunately, still rolling in there, a whole lot more speed, a whole lot more momentum, can't get checked up, drives through the hot dog stand 133 ride, then knocks him loose sideways up the racetrack. They both, luckily enough, don't have too much damage, and no one else really got tore up in it. So nonetheless, we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to rumble here once again as Somerville just beats that pace truck out. That was a very close call to being potentially trapped the lap down back there at the rear of the field, but he does get back out there just in time and gonna get lined back up and gonna get ready to go back to green flag racing as Caleb Kleinert out in front. Matthew Catania, his teammate, there in second, with Modesty and Woodby back there in 3rd and 4th. Skylar Berry now up into the 5th position with Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. in 6th. Nick Garner, Rooster Rodden, Nate Cogdell, Ashley Ellison Jr. back there running out our top 10, as we did see David Trailer, Callaway, Winker, Somerville, and Prince all come down pit road, and it looks like Prince coming back down pit road right here, making this additional trip down pit side. He's got to hurry up. He's got to try to get out of the pits here and get lined back up with the rest of the field, as they're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here down through corner number 3 and 4. Kleinert trying to wash his teammate up the track a little bit, trying to get a better angle down into the restart zone, and here we go. Green flag back out into the air for Caleb Kleinert, who gets a great launch, great jump here, and this is exactly what Modesty wants to see, is now he gets an opportunity to restart down the inside lane. Now he gets to try to go to work here on the 318 of Matthew Catania, and they make a little bit of contact there. It's exactly what Caleb Kleinert wants to see, as that's going to hold not only Modesty but his teammate Catania back there at bay, as they're going to slide back a little farther, but we do here. Oh, brother, we got another pile up here. No caution flag as of yet. There it is. Yellow flag is out. Looks like Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. tore up. Heavy damage here for Nick Gardner and Rooster Rodden, as well as a bunch of drivers just got absolutely destroyed down through corner 1 and 2, and I'm not too sure how this one really gets started. I don't know who ended up getting into this one first, but we'll take a look and see how this all got kind of rock and rolling here this afternoon. So you see Nate Cogdell on the back bumper there, the 27, and unfortunately, that's all it takes. And man, there's a bunch of tore-up race trucks right here. So let's take another look back at it. So Cogdell coming from deep in the field, trying to race his way up towards the front here. Getting a big run, big drive here on the 28 ride. And you can watch the nose here on the bottom of the screen all over Nick Gardner. You see Gardner kind of rolling out of it, trying to back the corner up here, knowing that he's coming in too wide, that he may need to, check his speed, make sure he doesn't get in too far, so that way he doesn't wash up into the 33 ride. And unfortunately, Nate Cogdell did not get that memo, gets into him, man, and look at that contact. Hard into that infield fence right here, and unfortunately, no safer barrier there. That is all concrete. That is a huge hit for him. Washes up the track into lap of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr., and unfortunately here, for a couple other drivers, just absolutely nowhere to go as Rooster Rodden, he's just trying to navigate his way through here. He doesn't even really have a fight in this because they're down to his inside, and he's just trying to stay cordial on the outside lane, and all of a sudden, there's a couple cars parked right in front of him, and huge damage there for him, man. And there's a few other drivers that are luckily enough just able to get checked up here. Maybe even got a little bit of contact into it, but, man, it was a whole lot closer than I think they were hoping for, even as all of a sudden everyone's just checking up. You do see Galloway does get a little piece of contact there into the 33 of Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. We do see the 5 ride of Matt Hayden also turned around right there. So let's take a look back and see what happens here, how Hayden kind of got turned around, as I think it was just everyone trying to figure out where they need to be, which lane they want to try to get into. And I think we're going to see as they kind of all get checked up here. He's checked up. 133 gets into him, and then the 54 ride clips him a little bit as well. Unfortunately for Matt Hayden, does get a little bit of rear end damage. Not too much, though, and luckily enough able to keep on rocking and rolling. Gets that thing turned back around, and here we go. Back to green flag. Green flag is back out in the air as our second caution flag is over. But now here we go. Battle at the front of the field. Okay, interesting call here. So Caleb Kleiner elected to go with the outside lane here on the restart. Unfortunately, did not get a great jump and will stay door-to-door here with his teammate, Matthew Catania. Catania's in the preferred line. He's looking to take this race lead away from the Majula Speed Shop teammate of his there in the outside lane. The WeatherTech CFM Performance ride. Still battling tough, though. A great fight on that outside lane, and actually looks like he's going to keep it. He's going to roll in front of Matthew Catania. So big run there for Caleb Kleiner, showing that he's got a lot of speed. He's got some great handling, and he's got a very good truck here this afternoon. And by the looks of it, it may be very tough for everyone to beat him here today. The only driver that we've seen really complete a pass using that outside lane, but you quickly see Catania right back there, right back to his rear bumper, trying to push him along, trying to open up the door here, hoping to see if he can try to take this top spot away from his teammate out there on the speedway. As Clinton Woodby's worked his way up and into third, Matt Hayden now up into position number 4 and looking for more as Rusty Modesty. They're rounding out our top 5. Skylar Berry's back there in that 6th position with Rooster Rodden and David Trailer door-to-door here, and it looks like Rooster may be able to make this move to the outside and complete the pass on the QH Designs Ghost Energy number 54, but we are going to see the caution flag come back out. Yellow flag will fly here. This time I'm not too sure what the caution flag was for. Must have been potentially either Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. or maybe the 4 ride right here going around. Yep, there it is. Galloway sends it into the corner, starts to go around sideways there on the racetrack, virtually coming to a stop. Keith Prince rolling up on him. They throw the caution flag there for the Liquid Death number 4 machine of Jesse Calloway. Now that's a decent break there for Calloway, as that is going to bring all these drivers right back to his nose here, and that'll bring Keith Prince right back into the fight as well, and give a couple of these other drivers maybe a little bit more time to try to head down pit road and get some damage repaired, get their trucks fixed up, and back out there in good working condition for the next restart. Here is early on. I mean, we talked about it, man. This is just Martinsville. Martinsville always seems to be high cautions and a lot of caution laps here, which can definitely get very, very tedious, can definitely make things very tough for us up here in the broadcast booth, but nonetheless, it's always a great time, a great show, and some great racing that these guys produce for us. So we can't thank each and every one of these drivers for showing up and putting on a great run for us here this evening. Now, don't get me wrong, I would love to see a good green flag run kind of get produced out there on the racetrack. Don't get me wrong, we'd love to see it. Start to see these guys click off some laps out there under the green flag conditions and not under the caution flag here this evening, as 3 yellows in our first 20 laps of racing action. It's not always the best, not always the hottest start, but I mean, we've seen it at other tracks as well, so they got a lot of time to kind of rewrite the ship here and try to get things pointed back in the right direction and start clicking off some laps out there on the racetrack. But for each and every one of these cats, obviously, this is a tricky racetrack. We talked about it, man. It is all about how the other drivers race each other out there, and that is just trying to be maybe a little bit more cordial or being a little bit more, aware, maybe just trying to figure out the surroundings of the guy in front of you as well, or just kind of learning their tendencies as well. You'll find throughout this race that it will get a little bit better, at least hopefully it should, as drivers will start to learn kind of, okay, the 5 ride likes to hang back a little bit, likes to kind of, back the corner up and slow his corner entry down to try to get a better exit speed, where another driver, like the guy behind him, the 46 is Skylar Berry, may like to drive it in there a whole lot deeper. It'll make it a faster entry, but a little bit slower of an exit or center of the corner. So it's just those two different driving styles, and that's where we tend to see a lot of drivers kind of run into one another and create some of the chaos out there on the speedways. One driver will check up, and the other driver just will not get onto the binders quick enough, and that's where the carnage starts to come out. As here we go, back to green flag racing, that out in front. It is the 196 of Caleb Kleinert. Kleinert able to use the outside lane that time to get a good enough launch, a good enough jump there to keep his teammate Matthew Catania back there at bay, but Catania gonna look to try to battle right back here as they're door-to-door. Back there for position number 3. Matt Hayden wants to jump up and take it away from Clinton Woodby, and it looks like Woodby and down into corner number 3 right there. Just did not get the best run, and that does allow the 5 right of Matt Hayden on corner exit to slide down in front of him and steal that 3rd spot away from the 92. So Woodby back into position number 4. Modesty battling there in 5th. Tried to keep that 46 right of Skylar Berry back there at bay. And here comes the QH Designs Ghost Energy. Number 54, a David Trailer. Trailer's right there in the battle. Rooster Rollins now there in the 8th position. I believe the only driver in our championship round here, our second round of this championship, is Kevin Winker. Winker, the only one not up inside the top 8 here. Unfortunately for the 42 truck of Kevin Winker, he did go a lap down. K-Dub did lose a lap. I'm not sure if that was just being down pit side for a little extended period of time, trying to get that Chevrolet truck month number 42. A little extra time to be worked on, a little extra time down pit lane to get fixed up, and unfortunately cost him a lap, and now a lap down. He'll be desperately hoping to see a caution flag, and he should see one here as our stage break just around the corner. So for each and every one of these drivers, now that they're in some good green flag laps here, yeah, kind of getting things going, kind of getting things rolling out there nicely. Unfortunately, that's going to get a little busted up here with our stage break in just a few more moments, where we'll see more drivers earn some stage points and get those points into their back pocket. And for any of our playoff drivers, you want to be up here, you want to be earning these points, because it could be the make or break on your season. Every single stage point may be the difference maker between making it into the next round or going home. There's contact. Oh no, heavy hit there for the 92 truck of Clinton Woodby. Looked like Skylar Berry had gotten into that left rear quarter panel of him and just kind of shot him up the racetrack as they were door to door. Berry's been trying to make this pass, and down into corner number 1, you're going to see it right here. 46 kind of gets into the 92, and unfortunately, as they make contact on corner entry, it just knocks the rear end loose here on that winning bid Die-cast and guard breaks number 92 machine, and Woodby slides up the racetrack. Hard contact into the outside fence. Pretty solid damage there on the whole right side for that 92 ride. And the big thing is that he falls out of the top 5 and out of line here for some good stage points here throughout stage number 1. So that's a bit of a heartbreaker there for Clinton Woodby. But out in front, Caleb Kleinert going to click off another lap here, but he does have his teammate and Matt Hayden right there on his back bumper. 3 playoff drivers here battling at the front of the field, and now here comes Rusty Modesty. Modesty trying to take position number 4 away from Skylar Berry, and it looks like he will take it. So Berry ends up sliding back into position number 5, but now disappears off the racetrack. Oh, there he is. He's back. There he is. Okay, so he disappeared for a little bit, but now he's back. And out in front still, though, is that 196. But all over his back bumper is Matthew Catania and Matt Hayden. Woo, man, Caleb Kleiner is going to be one nervous dunk. If he's looking up in that rear view mirror, seeing not only his teammate, but Hayden right there, ready to pounce and ready to make some moves out there on the speedways. You do see Barry blinking a little bit more again back there in position number 5, and unfortunately looks like he's going to lose that 5th position here to the 54 machine of David Trailer. So David, his teammate, able to get around him back up into that 5th position down across the line as lap 35 has been completed, and our first stage of the day is done here in this one. So our first stage completed here this evening, and for Caleb Kleinert, he's able to pick up the stage win here this evening. Matthew Catania will come home in second with Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, David Trailer, our top 5 there in that first stage of the day. Rooster Rodden there in 6 with Skylar Berry, Nathan Somerville, Ashley Ellison Jr., and Nate Cogdell rounding out our top 10. But our top 6, all playoff drivers, all getting some stage points here this evening. Cogdell back there in that 10th position does earn himself a stage point as well. Unfortunately, not as many as the other guys in front of him. And for Clinton Woodby and the 42 with Kevin Winker, unfortunately, they do not earn any stage points there in our first stage of the day. So that could really set them back quite a ways out there on the speedway. And you do see the Chevrolet Truck Month, that Nice Motorsports number 42 with Kevin Winker. He hits pit road after getting the lucky dog. The wave around back onto the lead lap. And for K-Dub, he gets to battle here once again this afternoon. So he'll be back on the lead lap, back into the action here, trying to work his way maybe up towards the front of the field, maybe into another incredible finish here in the Metalheads Truck Series, and trying to keep his championship hopes alive here in our first race of round number 1 here this evening, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to rock and roll here as another Duck Donuts caution flag will fly out there on the speedway. Huge shout out there to our caution flag sponsors here on the season, Duck Donuts, as we'll get a quick word in from Duck Donuts here today. Alrighty, is each and every one of these drivers ready to go back to green flag racing here? As coming to the green flag, we do get a lead change. Is out in front, it is the 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Hayden's got the race lead. Modesty will be in second with Rooster Rodden, Ashley Ellison Jr., our top 4 out there on the speedway. Caleb Kleinert's back in that 5th position, so from going from winning the stage to now restarting back in 5th, we'll see if he can try to migrate his way back to the front of the field. As he was outside will be that 54 at Dave David Trailer. Clinton Woodby there in 8th with Somerville down to his inside. Nate Cogdell and the number 4 of Jesse Calloway will round out our top 10 with Matthew Catania, Skylar Berry, Nick Gardner, Keith Prince, and Kevin Winker going to round out our 15 drivers on the lead lap here this evening. As here we go back to green flag racing as the green flag quickly back out into the air in 4, the number 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Able to get a great launch, great restart there. Quickly clears that 6th ride of Modesties. There's contact back there behind him. Look out. Oh, big hit right there for Matthew Catania. Oh, heartbreaker here for Catania on this restart as the 318 machine battling here with Skylar Berry, and it looks like Berry's just going to get up and into him as they're 3 wide off corner number 2, and they make contact for the 318 ride hard into the infield fence right there. Big hit for him. That definitely is going to cause a little bit of damage that he'll have to deal with, and hope that he can keep on battling, keep up with here this afternoon. And unfortunately, we'll lose even more track position as he'll fall all the way back into that 15th spot on the Speedway. But he may get blessed with another caution flag to bring himself right back into the battle as the yellow is back out, as it looks like Modesty and Somerville, not Modesty, this Clinton Woodby going to run into some issues here. And the 28 ride right there with them as just on corner exit, and that's Martinsville for you right there in a nutshell. Again, it's the same thing that we'll see all night long. Maybe one driver getting checked up for a couple there right in front of them, as you do see the 196 of Caleb Kleinert. I mean, Kleinert's making a big move right here down to the inside. Let's take a look back at it. So, as Caleb Kleinert, the 196, exits corner number 4, he sees his teammate Ashley Elson Jr. getting a little bit squirrely, a little bit sideways right there, and unfortunately, as they're beating and banging, now he jumps right down to the inside to try to make this 3 wide, and they leave him a little bit of room there, but they still kind of get tied together, and as they start to run tight there and obviously making contact, Caleb Kleiner checks up ever so slightly. So does the 92 ride, not to run through him. Unfortunately, the 28 truck of Somerville could not get checked up in time. That hooks this 92 ride around in the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. He had nowhere to go, so he does the exact same thing, runs over the back bumper there of the 28 ride. That jacks him up, turns him around, and unfortunately that does put us right back under the caution flag here this evening. So another yellow and another restart on the horizon for each and every one of these drivers, as Matt Hayden ready to try to get another big restart here, looking to hopefully try to keep all these drivers back there at bay, and hoping that he can try to keep on pulling away here in this one, as he's got Modesty there in second, Ashley Elson Jr. is there in third. We see that rear end damage there for the hot dog stand number 133 machine. To his outside will now be Rooster Rodden. The Ghost Energy QH Designs ride of David Trailer scored back in that 5th position with Caleb Kleinert there in 6th. And then we do see Jesse Calloway, Nate Cogdell, Skylar Berry, Nick Gardner, Matthew Catania is there on his back bumper. We saw him give him a little bit of a shot right there. Maybe showing his displeasure, maybe showing that, he's not super pleased with the contact that they made out of corner number 2 and put him into the infield fence. As we'll see if there's any, tempers flaring back there in a quick hurry, as I'm sure there's a lot of drivers that are probably already fairly irritated, already fairly fed up with the contact or the blinking this, the cautions, the beating and banging and battling, and just trying to have a good clean race. And unfortunately, a lot of times here in Martinsville, you do not get that, and I can definitely send some fireworks off throughout the field, as you do see Rooster Rodden trying to work his way around this 133 ride of Ashley Elson Jr. Gets a great run on the outside, sends it up high down through corner number 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway, able to take a good run, but just cannot quite clear that 133 ride. But now down into 3 and 4, he does get down low, he does clear Ellison, and now here we go. Caleb Kleiner's going to look to try to get around him. The 0-0 of Nate Cogdell's right there trying to move around him, as well as we do see the 28 truck of Nathan Somerville exiting the pits here. Somerville, unfortunately, down pit road here. And he does end up losing a lap down pit side as well. So that's a heartbreaker there for Somerville, as he's a lap down now out on the speedway. And for all these other drivers, obviously he'll be looking for the lucky dog here if there is another caution flag, as we're just over 50 laps in, just under 100 laps left to go here from Martinsville Speedway. The paperclip here in beautiful Virginia is out in front. The 5 ride of Matt Hayden continues to lead the way here. Hayden from deep in the field started back in that 10th position, now out in front here, feeling a-okay at the point. But you do see our pole sitter and early race leader Caleb Kleinert trying to battle his way back up there, as he's gonna work to the inside here. A Rooster Rodden, he will jump up and take that third spot away from the 0-1 machine. And now here comes the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell's right there. He's looking to try to work his way now around that 0-1 right, as well as playoff drivers trying to migrate their way back out in front. But out in front, a non-playoff driver here to play devil's advocate out there on the racetrack, and sitting out in front, maybe trying to steal this win away from him again, trying to make sure that somebody can't lock their way in to the next round and into that championship round of our playoffs. Caleb Kleinert, Nate Cogdell, Rusty Modesty right there behind him, all trying to work their way up and around that number 5 ride, knowing that there is potentially some extra bonus points, some extra, lock-in possibility into the next round, into that championship round of our playoffs, as well, is definitely kind of lurking in the back of their minds. And we could definitely see a lot of drivers later in this race, especially, get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more, I don't know what I would want to call it, a little bit more chaotic out there, and a little bit more aggressive when they're trying to maybe steal a couple late race positions here. So if you're looking at Modesty or Kleinert, even Cogdell, Trailer, as much as they don't want to run through somebody, they are not going to be scared to give them a little extra shove, a little bump and run to try to wash them up the racetrack here in the closing laps of this feature event to try to put themselves into the winner's circle. So if you're Matt Hayden, you're just trying to pull away from these guys. You want to make sure you don't leave anything up for grabs, and trying to make sure that they don't have a shot or an opportunity to try to steal it away from you. But here we go. We do see the 196 of Caleb Kleiner showing the muscle that he has out of that WeatherTech ride, as the WeatherTech machine, the CFM Performance 196 now back up into position number 2, as he's gonna make that pass on the 6th ride of Rusty Modesty. Modesty there, unfortunately, got a little washed up the racetrack there. Great move here at Martinsville. Gonna get underneath the guy, kind of wash him up the racetrack, out of the groove, put the power down, and just roll down out of the corner around them. And that's exactly what Caleb Kleiner was able to just do to take that 2nd spot away. And now he's going to go after and go to work here on the 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Hayden, not sure if he's going to put up as big of a fight or any of a fight here, but I'm sure without a doubt he's going to be trying to keep this 196 right back there at bay. But if Kleiner can get there, I don't know how much Hayden's going to put up a battle for it here early on in this feature event, but we do see a battle brewing back here for that 4th position, as we do see the 54 of David Trailer able to work his way around the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell, who started at the rear of the field, now up into that 5th position, but was just up in 4th, but now he falls back a spot there in 5th. Behind him, you do see that 318 of Matthew Catania. Catania's trying to hold on to that 6th position, as he's got the 42 of Kevin Winker right there with him. K-Dub has found his way up into the 7th spot here on the Speedway, and for all of our, playoff drivers, a lot of them are up here at the front of the field. Unfortunately, obviously Matt Hayden, not a playoff competitor, but for Clinton Woodby being back in position number 12 here, if he could work his way up there, if he could poke his nose into the battle, he could be right up here in the mix this afternoon and back into the battle, but trying to just rebound after that contact and getting a little tore up out there on the speedway. We'll have to wait and see how he's able to kind of get on up there. I mean, Nick Garner's right there as well. We saw Garner with a little bit of damage. He kind of got tied up there in a couple of those caution flags as well. And for Nick Garner being another one of our playoff drivers here on the season for the CCR Esports team, obviously they got 3 ponies here into the second round of the playoffs. They would love to try to work all 3 of them into the next round as well, so where they could have 3 out of 4 spots here potentially for that championship in a few short weeks from now. Unfortunately, Nick Garner having a little bit of a rougher go here at Martinsville Martinsville Speedway here this evening, as his teammate, though, having a great run is Caleb Kleinert back out in front. Kleinert has the top spot, looking to try to hopefully pull away and run away with this one, keeping Rusty Modesty, Matt Hayden back there at base. Unfortunately, when Hayden got passed by Kleinert, Modesty was able to get around him as well, and for that Toyota number 5 ride of Matt Hayden now sits back in this 3rd position. But this is a great green flag run, man. We love to see this. Good green flag laps being laid down. These guys putting together a hell of a race for us here. It just took them a little while to kind of figure things out. Drivers a little bit more cool, calm, and collected here, and you do see now, unfortunately here, Nate Cogdell falling all the way back into 7th. Catania and Winker both able to get around him here as well. So for the 0-0 ride of Nate Cogdell falling back into 7th, not a great spot to be out there on the speedway, trying to work your way into the next round of the playoffs, as he'll now have his teammate right there on his back bumper. Skylar Berry's there in 8th. Jesse Calloway there in 9th. Keith Prince rounding out our top 10, trying to keep on working his way forward, as we do see Nick Gardner and Clinton Woodby. They're battling back here in position number 11 and 12. Here on the racetrack, Ash Elson Jr., Rooster Ron, another one of our playoff competitors, back here in that 14th spot here on the speedway. So unfortunately for a couple of the playoff competitors, man, just not the runs that they were hoping for here throughout this race. And sorry, we were saying that Cogdell is a part of the playoffs here. We got Woodby, Winker, David Traylor, Rooster Rodden, Nick Gardner, Nate Cogdell, Caleb Kleinert, and the number 318 of Matthew Catania. But we are going to see the caution flag come back out. Yellow flag is out here again. Oh no, it looks like maybe some issues here for the 4 ride of Jesse Calloway's. The caution flag will come back out, and we'll take a look at it, see what happens. Oh, it just looks like Skylar Berry sends it in there deep, trying not to run through or run over his teammate here, Nate Cogdell. He's just going to get into the corner right here, and unfortunately just kind of loses the rear end, trying to avoid the 0-0. Has to cut down the racetrack in a quick way. Curry still makes contact with the 0-0 ride, but kind of cuts down across the nose of the 4 of Jesse Calloway, and that just kind of knocks Calloway around right here, and he goes for a quick loop sideways there in the middle of corner 1 and 2, and that's where we see the caution flag get displayed again out there on the speedway. So another yellow, and now another opportunity here for drivers to make some different pit strategy here. We do see a lot of drivers down pit side, but looks like maybe David Traylor, one of the first ones off of pit road here. We do see Jesse Calloway back down there. Looks like Keith Prince had stayed out. So didn't Kevin Winker. So K-Dub and Prince all going to stay out here, not coming down pit road this time by. So we'll have to wait and see if they do elect to come back down pit road, or if they're going to use this as some good track position to stay at the front of the field. As David Traylor will now be up into 3rd. Caleb Kleinert back there in 4th. Rusty Modesty, Matt Hayden, Matthew Catania, Nate Cogdell, our top 8 there, getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Clinton Woodby and Nick Garner round out our top 10 as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting to say the least. see if this is going to bring more caution flags or if this is going to be A-okay. And now, I think earlier we were saying that Modesty was a part of the playoffs as well. Modesty is not a part of the playoffs here. I keep thinking that he is. He's had a great season, a lot of great runs, but Modesty, unfortunately, did get eliminated. I believe the standings were one race or 1 point potentially here between them. Take a look back here. Oh, no, it's a little bit more than 1 point. But, yeah, unfortunately, Somerville, Modesty, Colton Hardy, Skylar Berry, Keith Prince, Michael Newman, Ashley Ellison Jr., and Jesse Calloway all got eliminated from playoff contention at the end of last week's Kansas Speedway races. Oh, brother, here we go. Back to green flag, but right back to the caution flag as we believe we're going to see the 33 truck here get turned around right here. Let's take a look at it, see what happens as it's Ashley Ellison Jr. there on his back bumper. They get rolling. Looks like he gets a little checked up for the 0-1 ride, and Ellison just does not see that happening, does not have enough time to react or to get onto the binders there to avoid running over Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. They make contact, and that's where the caution flag comes back out. So right here, a little stack up. Ashley Ellison's trying to get checked up in time, unfortunately can't, and even if he was able to get checked up enough to not maybe turn him, the hit from the 46 of Skylar Berry may have helped it, unfortunately, still go around there for the Misfits 33 machine, but pretty solid contact there for all three drivers, and with the 33 down into the infield fence, solid damage there for Jimmy Fitzmaurice Jr. That's where we see the caution flag come back out. So another restart on the horizon. Cautions breeding cautions here midway through this race, as we're just over halfway in, halfway to go here from Martinsville Speedway. The paperclip here in NASCAR, man, this is always a fun track to come to, always an exciting track to come to, but obviously always fairly chaotic, especially here in iRacing. In iRacing, Martinsville is a whole different animal. Martinsville is just always seems to be very chaotic, man. I haven't had too many races here at Martinsville that have, went fairly smooth. It has always been kind of a wild card race and just a bit of a chaos-filled race. So Martinsville definitely one of those tricky racetracks that just seems to always have drivers fairly perplexed on what they need to do to try to get a good run here, or to try to even finish these races, or just try to keep the caution flags to a minimum. As Laura in the chat says, "Go Hayden, number 5." Cheering on Matt here this evening, cheering on Mr. Hayden out there on the speedway. As Amanda Joy in the chat as well says, hashtag Winker Nation, as K-Dub out in front. He's leading the charge now. He did not come down pit road during either of these caution flags, and that's given him the race lead, and he's hoping to try to hang on to it here for a little extended period of time. Maybe this extra track position or fuel game plan or tire game plan, maybe it'll work out into his favor, but nonetheless, here we go. Back to green flag, racing, and they're already getting a little stacked up here. Oh, baby, looked like Catania all over the back bumper there of his teammate. Boy, oh boy, were we ever very close to seeing another caution flag fly. As now we do see Jesse Calloway slow down on the apron, but he's able to rejoin here. Just falls to the back of the pack for the 4 machine, but everyone able to keep on battling, keep on rolling out there on the speedways. K-Dub, Kevin Winker out in front. He's got the top spot. He's hoping to keep all these drivers back there at bay. Is Bruce Muehlberger. What's good, Bruce? Bruce in the chat, Tower Operator says, hashtag Winker Nation, Bruce, Winker Nation, brother, as K-Dub out in front, leading the charge, trying to keep Modesty, the 54 ride, all these guys back there at bay, as they may have better fuel, better tires, better everything here, and he's just trying to keep them back there at bay, and that may stack things up, which could be exactly what he may be looking for here after 5-10 laps. Oh, look out, there it is. Oh no, contact, and around goes David Trailer in that QH Designs winning bid number 54 ride, as it looked like, unfortunately for Modesty here, the Sinclair Dyno Care ride having to get checked up here for Kevin Winker. Just unfortunately gets in here and kind of just loses the rear end. Slides up the racetrack, kind of tail tags the 54 of David Trailer, and that sends David around backwards up into the outside fence and stop there on the speedway, and that's where we see the caution flag come back out. Let's take another look back at it and see this contact, see the issues here that these guys had just had out there on the speedways. It was just tight racing here for David Trailer and Modesty, and unfortunately, right here, you see Modesty lose that rear end, slides up into the left rear of the 54, and that just knocks him sideways and backs it up the racetrack into the outside fence there. A tough hit, tough break, but luckily enough, not too much damage there for David Trailer, but that is going to be a huge loss of track position as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try to do it all over again here. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing, and I believe Modesty had fallen back a couple spots there from that contact as well. He's now being scored back in that 4th position. So unfortunately here for not only David Trailer but Modesty, both kind of falling back a bit out there on the speedway. And for Rusty, he'll be looking to try to rebound from it, but it looks like he may even go farther back, as I believe he may be looking for an EOL here, maybe trying to own up to his mistake there. And unfortunately, yeah, right here, just gets in there, loses the rear end, slides up into the 54. That brings out the caution flag, obviously up the racetrack, already back quite a few positions. And unfortunately for Modesty and for David Trailer, they'll both now be starting towards the rear of the field, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here. Green flag action definitely at a minimal here today. Obviously, things are very tough here at Martinsville, but obviously we did see that good green flag run there midway through this this run, this 90 laps of racing action that we've laid down here. We did see a good, decent, 30-40 lap run there under the green flag conditions. It'd be nice to see if we can see that again here. See these drivers start to lay down some good laps again, and see kind of where some of this fuel strategy, tire strategy, where it kind of puts some of these drivers after, maybe a good solid run out there on the speedway. Will Winker have to make a unfortunate green flag pit stop, or will the caution flag come out that he's looking for that could put him into a winning position with better tires here maybe later in the race? It'll be fun to see, as here we go, back to battle. Everyone able to keep it cordial, but out in front, here we go, Hayden on the outside. Caleb Kleiner right down the middle. They're still 3 wide down and at core number 4. Winker down low, though, unfortunately just cannot hold off. Maybe some of these fresher tires back there behind him, and now you see the 5 ride. He's up the racetrack just trying to hang on to it now. So is in the 27 of Nick Gardner. Gardner goes around. Caution flag is back out. So the caution flag will fly here once again, as things were just a little chaotic here. Things were a little bit wild, especially with Hayden there being 3 wide. Let's play this all the way back and take a look at that one, as that was some great racing, some great action here. Dan gets a great run, great drive, and he's able to jump to the outside of the 42 of Winker, but at the same point in time, you end up seeing the 196 of Caleb Kleiner tries to take the same spot at the same time, and all of a sudden that just puts him 3 wide now for the 5 ride. Great piece of driving there, not only to give enough room there for them to be 3 wide on corner entry, but to keep it pointing in the right direction through that beating and banging, and then all of a sudden back down and out at core number 2. Things just tight again here. Right there you see it. So tight off of core number 2, coming out 3 wide. I believe you're going to see the number 46 here of Skylar Berry. Berry is just going to get, I don't know, just a little bit tight on corner exit, trying to leave enough room there for that 5 right of Matt Hayden. And it looks like they're tight to each other, and unfortunately he just tries to give more room, in which case he kind of comes down the racetrack into the 27 truck, and unfortunately there for the 27 of Nick Gardner, as I believe we're going to see the screen go black right there, as I believe we're going to see the number 46 take his truck right off the racetrack here, or take it down pit side. I'm not sure what happened, but nonetheless, it's a little squirrely into the 27, and then 46 just disappears again off the speedway at the exact same time. And for the 27 truck of Nick Gardner, he ends up going around and sliding to a stop there on pit road entry. That's where the caution flag gets displayed. And now I believe for Skylar Berry, he is still disappeared from the server. I'm not sure if he alt F4'd or if he lost connection here. Looks like he manually disconnected, so unfortunately for Skylar Berry, it looks like he has had enough of the racing action here this evening. Berry's taking his car back down behind pit wall and out of this race. So unfortunately for Skylar, looks like his day going to come to an early close here at Martinsville Speedway. Tough racetrack. Temperatures are going to be hot, man. These guys are going to be, rolling coal by the end of the night, man, as they're going to be chomping at the bit. They're not going to be very happy with one another. It definitely is going to bring out a lot of fireworks and a lot of controversy, man. The beating and banging out there on the speedway, and who hit who and what implications it has here on the playoffs as teammates out in front of the restart, man. We've seen that 196 of Caleb Kleiner be a little bit sporadic and getting a little bit of different tire spin and having issues there on those restarts. And here in this one, Catania is able to stick right there with them again, rolling that outside groove. And for Caleb Kleiner, he's still got the inside lane, so he's still got the preferred lane out there on the racetrack, but obviously a tough matchup here with his teammate there right to his outside. Now you want to race each other as clean as possible, but you're still running and battling for not only points, but for potentially trying to lock your way into the next round of the playoffs. So you're battling hard here at the front of the field. And if you're the 0-0 ride of Nate Congdale, you're getting a great view of it. You're just watching these two run inches off of each other out there. One mistake, one issue could send them packing here this evening. And unfortunately, he's going to be hoping for their downfall as he wants those positions. He wants to see them get together and get tangled up here and having an issue as long as he's not in it. And for the 0-0, if he can avoid their chaos, he could work his way out in front and into the race lead here. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. But they are still battling hard back here for that top spot. And you do see a little bit of contact. It kind of pushes the 318 of Catania up the speedway. Now here comes Nate Congdale. Congdale quickly got down to his inside. He does not want to allow this 318 to drop down in front of him. Unfortunately, power move right there down in at corner number 2 for Matthew Catania as he's able to get the run that he was looking for and clears that 0-0. So now he's going to be on the hunt trying to track back down his teammate Caleb Kleiner out in front of the pack here, but now has quite a bit of ground to make up to try to reel him back in before the final 50 laps of this race kind of close out here this afternoon, as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up here from Martinsville. Give it up for these drivers, man. Another good green flag run here for each and every one of these cats out there on the racetrack as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, a beautiful crank it up session here from Martinsville Speedway. Is out in front. It's Caleb Kleinert who continues to hold on to the top spot. Kleinert continues to lead the way here in this one as each and every one of these drivers continuing to beat and bang and battle back there throughout the field. Is a amazing green flag run here at Martinsville, man. We love to see this, and drivers now having to start to worry about lap traffic here. When you look at Catania and Kleinert out in front, obviously now they got a little lap traffic right here in front of them, and the first driver that they may run into here is a teammate in their CCR Esports stable, the number 15 or 27 ride of Mr. Nick Gardner. Gardner right there, about to go a lap down, scored back in the 14th position. Ashley Ellison Jr., the next driver up in the hot dog stand, number 133 ride, also about to potentially go a lap down out there on the speedway at the hands of their own teammates there on the racing surface. But for the 27 truck, unfortunately, Nick Garner does lose that lap. Kleinert, Catania, both around him there. He goes down a lap here. Now he is in that lucky dog position. If there is a late race caution flag that flies, he may be, still in line, still inclined here to get that lucky dog to get himself back into the action here. And our race leaders still have a bit of time until they catch this 133 machine of Ashley Ellison Jr. So Nick could potentially stay in that lucky dog spot here for an extended period of time this afternoon, as Caleb Kleiner, though, out in front, continue to lead the way here. Now he had Catania, his teammate, all over his back bumper there for a while, but we're starting to see Catania slip and slide a little bit more out there on the speedway, starting to move around and travel, especially on these corner exits. You see him washing around now, tagging the outside fence again in that 318 machine. Definitely seems like the tires are falling off of Catania's ride, and he is just trying to hang on for all she's worth now at this point, knowing that there are inside 20 laps left to go, knowing that he does not want to make a mistake. He does not want to open up the door here and allow potentially the almost 3-second gap he has between himself and Clinton Woodby to be evaporated if he runs into more and more mistakes or keeps sliding around out there on the speedway. Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden, the 28 ride, and Nathan Somerville could be quickly right there under their back pocket and trying to steal a couple of those spots away late in this race. Somerville has worked his way not only around the 4 ride of Jesse Calloway, but the 42 of Kevin Winker. We saw him working on Winker there for a while throughout that crank it up, but Winker was able to hold him off there for a bit. But as he passed the 4 ride of Jesse Calloway, Somerville was able to get both of them out there on the speedway, now up into that 5th position. Unfortunately, you do see David Traylor, one of our playoff drivers, scored back here in the 8th position. Another playoff competitor there in 10th. Another one, Nate Cogdell, we saw him fall back throughout the field there. That 0-0 ride is definitely struggling here this evening, and he's now back into that 12th position as well. And Nick Gardner, who we saw just go a lap down, is scored back in the 14th position. So for a lot of our playoff drivers, they look at Caleb Kleiner, Matthew Catania, Clinton Woodby, and Kevin Winker being up inside the top 6 still puts you into a really, really good position here, points-wise, coming out of this race, as that's our top 4 in the point standings here, running order out there on the racetrack. Our race leader, our 2nd place driver, our 3rd place driver, and then Winker back here in that 6th position. Our top 4 playoff drivers here this afternoon from Martinsville. David Traylor back there in 9th, Rooster Rodden there in 10th. Then obviously you do see Nate Cogdell and Nick Gardner back there a little farther. So unfortunately for David, Rooster, Nate, and Nick, they find themselves, a lot deeper in the field and maybe giving up some major points here in our first race of this 2nd round of the playoffs, and potentially putting themselves behind the 8 ball and not in a good spot here for maybe trying to advance into the championship round here of our 3rd season here with the Metalheads Truck Series. As Caleb Kleiner, though, out in front. Kleiner's sitting pretty, man. He is sitting real pretty out there on the speedways. The 196 continues to control this race, and down at a corner 3 and 4, you'll see 10 laps left to go and say goodbye to that. It's 9 laps left here in this one, so 9 more laps left to duke it out here this evening for the Team CFM Esports, the CFM Performance WeatherTech number 196 machine. The paper cuts. Ryan looking real good here at the paper clip this afternoon as Caleb Kleinert out in front. He's got about 1.6 seconds between himself and his teammate Matthew Catania. Catania still just trying to hold on to position number 2, and he's hoping that there's not enough time for Clinton Woodby to reel him in. Now he has lost about a second here, so he's running quite a bit slower. Last time around it was about 3/10, almost 4/10 slower than Clinton Woodby. So Woodby is reeling him in. Again, that was another 2/10 or better. So at this pace, I'm not sure Woodby could potentially reel in that number 318 machine of Matthew Catania and really put the pressure here on Catania for what could be, you know, a good solid second place run here for the Team CFM Esports 3G machine, as Kleinert still out in front, though. Catania in second. Clinton Woodby's back there in third. Matt Hayden, non-playoff driver, rolls there in fourth, followed by another non-playoff driver in Nathan Somerville, rounding out our top 5. Kevin Winker, one of our playoff competitors, he's there in that sixth position. I know he would love to try to jump up and gain an extra spot or two here late in this race, knowing that those points could be make or break between racing for a championship here in a few weeks or loading up his run and just being another fellow competitor out there and not a championship driver for our season finale. Out there on the speedway, it's Jesse Calloway, non-playoff driver, rolls there in 7th, and we do see another non-playoff driver there in 8th. David Trailer, our 5th highest running playoff competitor out there on the speedway, rolls there in 9th with another one of our playoff competitors there, Rooster Ronin, back in 10th. Keith Prince, Ashley Ellison Jr. there in 11th and 12th. Nate Congdell has fallen all the way back to 13th here, and for another playoff driver, honestly, for Nate Cogdell and Nick Garner rolling back in 13th and 14th out there on the speedway. Going to be giving up massive points here this evening as there's only a couple laps left to go here for Caleb Kleinert. Is Kleinert out in front? Sees 2 laps left to go, so nice and easy. Down the back straightaway into core number 3. Nice and easy out of core number 4. Just does not want to see a late race caution flag. Is down and out of 4. He will see the white flag fly. So the final lap here this evening is Caleb Kleinert out in front, has no pressure to his back bumper as he's got over 3 seconds between himself and Matthew Catania. Catania luckily enough had just enough time here, I think, to hold off Clinton Woodby as Woodby was reeling him in a quick hurry, but nobody was catching the 196 ride here this evening. Caleb Kleinert, man, what a run, what a drive. The WeatherTech CFM Performance paper cuts 196. And Caleb Kleinert is absolutely locked in and dominant here this afternoon, man. Perfect run for him. Great race out there on the speedway. And for Caleb Kleinert, man, that's exactly what you need. That's a championship-esque performance here this evening from Martinsville Speedway. As you do see his teammate Catania, the 92 of Woodby, all going to give him some congratulations. Now the 5 ride of Hayden there as well to congratulate him there on the afternoon, as well as Danny Doc says, let's fucking go, Caleb. LFG, Caleb, LFG. Yeah, great run, great win there for Caleb Kleinert. And for K-Dub says, decent points, night 2 bonus points, decent points night. 2 bonus points for leading a lap and hard charger. Plus a solid 6th place run. And at the same point in time, you had 4 other playoff competitors back there behind you. So not only did you have a good enough run out there to gain some good points, but you also earned some of those bonus points as well along the way to set you up here for a a good solid day here in this one. K-Dub is out in front though, still celebrating here on the front straightaway is Caleb Kleinert. You can tell how pumped up he is to be up here in victory lane, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance there for Caleb Kleinert, for Catania, Woodby, all these drivers, man. That was a hell of a amazing final run there late in this race, man. It was great to see some good green flag laps being laid down. Not very often do we get that. Normally we see the chaos and mayhem kind of ensue all night long here at Martinsville, but not tonight. Tonight, it was nonstop good green flag racing, except for a little bit there at the beginning. A little bit at the beginning was a little chaotic, but then things got, smoothed out real quick out there, and these guys put on an absolutely amazing show for us as we'll get ready to pull our race winner, Caleb Kleinert, up here into the booth. Hey, Caleb, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
I sure do.
Caleb, man, what a run. What a race, man. Take us back through this one. It's this 196 ride so fast this afternoon. Obviously, quick time in qualifying. You start out in front, and you start off, on a good note here. You're just battling, trying to keep Catania, Woodby, all these drivers back there at bay, and for the first stage, you're able to do so, and then all of a sudden, you kind of get shuffled back a little bit. It takes you a little while to navigate your way back to the front. You finally get there, and then you got to deal with a few, late race caution flags there with Catania all over you, battling there to your outside. We saw that a couple times out of the 318 machine, just not giving it to you easily here this afternoon. Battled there, door to door for quite a while. A lot of beating and banging there between teammates here to have some fun out there on the racetrack, but obviously also just trying to battle for this big win in our first race of the second round, and trying to work yourself one step closer into racing for this championship in a few weeks.
Yeah, this win puts us in the championship round. So, all eyes focused on Homestead now, and hopefully my other two teammates that's still in the playoffs can either point their way in or win their way in the next couple weeks. But yeah, man, I was not expecting the qualifying speed. Long run speed, I felt like I told my teammates that I felt like I could have competed with anyone in the long run, but it was just the short run that I felt like killed me, and just somehow put it together, hit the lap there in qualifying, and put it on the stop there. And we pretty much, from there, I felt pretty confident. I felt like the hard part was done.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like the hard part was done, but man, Catania all over you there throughout the later portion of this race until finally kind of got to that long run speed, and you just started to leave him back there in the dust, and then just in these closing laps on cruise control, waiting to see that white flag and checkered flag fly, just hoping not to see another late race restart, not wanting to see another caution flag fly that where, some of these drivers could get another opportunity or an open door to try to knock you around or move you out of the way to steal this win from you here this afternoon, man. Take us back through those final laps and what was kind of going through your mind.
Yeah, it was. It got super loose there on the long run. That was the longest run I did. I think that was 76 laps on that set of tires. I think the longest run I did before that was 37. And yeah, definitely was not expecting it to get loose on the exit the way it was. But I think the way I was able to wrap the curb compared to Matt just allowed me to throttle up better, center off, and that's what gave me the better edge there at the end, I think. And I don't know, because like I said, I didn't try it multiple ways, but just the way I'm guessing, looking back at it now, I think the way he was trying to diamond the corner and run that little bit higher groove on entry, it just caused him to burn up his right rear. And yeah, but like I said, or like you said, just able to drive away there at the end. I pretty much just looked at the lap times, made sure I wasn't running anything extremely too fast, but obviously didn't want to go too slow and let them run us down. So
yeah, absolutely. Just trying to manage that gap, make sure you keep them back there at bay, and keep that pressure off your back bumper late in this race. And you're able to do so as you get to celebrate here at Martinsville and work your way into that championship for in a few weeks. Brother, who'd you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack here tonight?
Everybody at Majula C Speed Shop, CCR Esports, 5-Star Tire Specialties, Paper Cuts, C High Performance, Represent LTD, you guys for doing the broadcast as always. I know I'm forgetting someone, but I can't think of who. But Nate, everybody putting on this league, and just all my teammates, man. Matt, he helped me a lot. I was really struggling earlier this week, the little bit of practice I done, and helped me figure out where, and then I just put it to use and put together the long run, or put the long run together, and was able to drive away.
Yeah, absolutely. Able to drive away and pick up a big win here this afternoon as the paper cuts right here at the paper clip. Able to get it done here in this one as you pick up the Johnny Johnson Motorsports 150 dub here from Martinsville Speedway. Congratulations there, Caleb, and we can't wait to see you back out on the racetrack, obviously, again for the next couple weeks as you get a couple weeks of, easy, clean sailing racing. You don't have to worry about points or anything else and just getting prepped and ready for that championship battle in a few weeks' time.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, sir.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You do as well.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Caleb Kleinert, as we get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 318 machine of Matthew Catania. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Matthew, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here this evening, brother. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind after 150 laps of just, constant beating and banging, battling out there on the paperclip.
Yeah, it was fun at times. Had a good qualifying run. Obviously, Caleb got the pole and just never looked back. But I think we were pretty fast tonight, and then we got that EOL from last week, and kind of put us in the hornet's nest. It feels like had a really crazy battle with Skyler, and he was not giving me any room. So it was fun. It was fun until the end. That long run at the end really killed me. Wasn't expecting it. Didn't save enough. Was trying to get around Caleb there at the beginning of the run, and I think I cooked him a little bit.
Yeah, definitely pushing hard there, trying to steal that top spot away from your teammate there. Obviously, yeah, I don't think anyone was expecting us to have this long of a green flag run to finish off the afternoon. We were definitely, biting our nails, waiting in anticipation for some of these late race restarts to kind of start flying here this afternoon and those late race caution flanks, but they just never came, and unfortunately, you just kept seeing them get smaller and smaller at that front windshield, and you kept seeing that 92 truck of Woodby getting bigger and bigger in your rear view mirror. Luckily enough, though, he runs at a time. You had a big enough gap that you were able to keep Woodby back there at bay and come home with a very solid second place run.
Yeah, we definitely cooked it at the end there. Like I said, I was actually hoping for a late race caution, just at least to get a new set. Even the odds a little bit, but yeah, it was a fun one. Caleb and I did a lot of testing yesterday, and I think Saturday, can't remember. Uh, definitely helped for today. I mean, we both came in with some speed. Even Ashley, I mean, he qualified fifth. Didn't get the greatest result, but three of us did pretty well. Nick definitely didn't have a great race. He got junked a few times, but overall, I'd say I'm content with it.
Yeah, good day, good solid performance there for yourself, and obviously for Kleiner there as well, as now Kleiner's locked in to that championship for here in a few weeks. And for yourself, I mean, sitting pretty here points-wise with a good points night here, and, trying to inch your way in potentially through points. You just got to worry about Nick trying to, race his way up there, maybe pick up a dub here over the next couple weeks, or just get a good couple solid points nights that maybe he can squeeze in on points as well to put 3 ponies into that championship 4 battle for the CCR esports team.
Absolutely, it'd be great to get all three of us in there. Racing for a championship. But
Yeah. Absolutely. Looking to try to battle for the championship, having 3 drivers in there for the fight. A whole lot better than 2, but man, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be exciting to see how these next couple weeks play out before our championship race there at Homestead. But here tonight, Matthew, another great run, another great performance for yourself, man. Who would you like to thank for another great drive out there on the Speedway?
yeah, I'd like to thank Caleb and Ashley and Nick. Congrats to Caleb again. Uh, Definitely a hard fought race. And I'd like to thank you for putting this on, my fiance for letting me do this every Monday, and Nate for putting the league on.
Absolutely. Well, Matthew, heck of a run, heck of a drive, man. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack again next Monday and potentially right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe one spot better and into victory lane yourself.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Matthew Catania. As Catania comes home here in position number 2, we'll get now our third place finisher, Clinton Woodby, up here into the booth. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, another good run, another good race for you here this afternoon. Obviously, didn't come without a little bit of headache there. As we say, kind of got bounced around slightly throughout the middle portion of this race, but you're able to just kind of stick with it, battle back, even though you didn't get any of those stage points. You're still able to end up getting a pretty good solid finish here and finishing quite ahead of a lot of your other, playoff competitors here this evening, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind?
Yeah, kind of sucks to be taken out there for stage points. I don't know where I was at whenever the contact with Skylar happened. Probably, I think we were 5th or 6th. I don't know. But every point matters at this stage in the playoffs, and I don't even know if he's still in the playoffs. I don't really know. I don't know. I was up against the wall, and as soon as I hit the brakes, the truck wants to turn in initially, and as soon as I did that, I was getting turned. So I don't know. I guess I need to eject myself from the track to drive in the stands and maybe give him more room. Maybe that's what he needs. I'm not really sure, but I guess we'll just have to work our way around him for the rest of the season. But yeah, it's always nice to come home third, I guess. I thought I'd be a little bit better overall speed, but Caleb and Catania seem to kind of have the field set for that. And I thought Matt was going to have a little bit better run at it, but there at the end, I don't know if I had a little fresher tires than he did. I can't really remember. Or I think I just really got in front of him, and it was almost impossible to pass without just shoving your nose in and spinning somebody else out or pushing them up the track. And we're pretty good teammates, so we don't really do that. That was a pretty good battle to watch up at the lead, though. I can appreciate them racing each other hard and not taking each other out. That was entertaining.
Yeah, definitely fun to watch those guys beat and bang and battle. And obviously for yourself, you're hoping that, maybe they get a little too aggressive, maybe a little too comfortable and run into an issue with each other and open up the door for you to, steal that top spot away from them or send them packing back there at the back of the pack with a caution flag. But unfortunately, not really unfortunately, very fortunately here, just a very good long green flag run here to finish off this race. Not very often we come to Martinsville and see more than a 15-lap green flag run out there on the racetrack. So round of applause to not only yourself, but all these guys here this afternoon to be able to, put together a couple good green flag runs here this afternoon.
Yeah, there's I'm not trying to talk down on nobody, but there's a couple of guys who just don't understand. Just give up a position, go get it later. That's all it is. But we got like 99% people in here that'll give and take up until the last 20 laps whenever you expect a little bit of contact or expect somebody to run you pretty close or tight, whatever. But it was frustrating there at the beginning because I just knowing that, being with these guys for as long as I have, I know we can get green flag running in, and Martinsville is one of those places where you just don't run over the person in front of you and don't drive in too hard into the corner, and we'll all make it just fine. But I don't know. It was entertaining to say the least.
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining, definitely fun to watch. Obviously, a lot of chaos early on, but then some good green flag laps here late in the race. And for yourself, you're able to bring it home with a very solid top 3 performance here in our first race of the second round of the playoffs. Clinton, who would you like to thank for another great run, another good performance out there on the Speedway?
Yeah, shout out to my girlfriend Megan and Blair Peterson, the Win and Bid Diecast. I'll go get all your NASCAR stuff from him. And Colton Hardy for the paint scheme, Full Throttle Paint Co. We're trying to get that going, so if anybody needs paint, hit him up. And you for the broadcast and everybody for putting on the league, all my teammates, and we'll go see what we can do in Kansas. I believe that's where we're at next week.
Yeah, I believe so. Is it Kansas or Kentucky?
Oh, no, Kentucky. That's
Kentucky,
it.
yeah, Kentucky. All right, so yeah, we'll see you back there in Kentucky, man, next Monday night, and see if we can get you right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe a couple spots better, and maybe into victory lane yourself next Monday.
Yep. Have a good one.
Yes, you as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Clinton Woodby. Woodby comes home in position number 3. Solid run, solid drive there for that 92 machine. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here this evening. Huge thank you to you guys tuning in, showing the love here this afternoon. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the stream for us. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. And make sure you guys turn those bell notifications on so that way you guys never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. Now, we're off tomorrow night. Our regular Tuesday night series, it is over now. So, unfortunately, we have nothing planned for tomorrow. So, maybe we'll get something going. Maybe we won't. I may just take the day off, take a day for rest. But nonetheless, we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. And we'll be back up here in the booth again at the minimum on Wednesday night. We'll be back here Wednesday night. More racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. More fun action, and hopefully we'll see you guys there. As unfortunately, that will do it for us here in this one. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all later, baby. See y'all later. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Never be screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Peacemaker, friction sparks light the night. Track of war cells, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lane. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my 6, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat.